up, guys? So today I wanted to kind of talk about where Wonderlands is sitting at right now. And I don't think it's bad at the moment, but it just depends on how Gearbox kind of goes about the content for the game. Now, I am a massive fan of Wonderlands. Obviously, you guys can see that from behind me. And I love Bunkers and Badasses. That's why I'm doing this huge project with all these miniatures and stuff. I love the setting of Wonderlands because it's in Bunkers and Badasses. And I love Borderlands, and it's just Borderlands D&D. But I feel like they went about Wonderlands a little bit differently than, I don't know, previous titles. So, of course, if you hadn't played Wonderlands, it's based off of Bunkers and Badasses, which is basically the D&D in Borderlands. Now, if you look at the series itself, you have Borderlands 1, you have Borderlands pre-sequel, the pre-sequel, you have Borderlands 2, and you have Borderlands 3. And of course you have Tales from Borderlands, which is also getting a second season very soon. I think by the end of this year we will be seeing Tales from the Borderlands Season 2, which I'm very excited about. But out of all those titles, I would like to say that a spin-off title... So Wonderlands is basically a spin-off title because of the way it is, right? It's not technically a Borderlands game, but it is in Borderlands in its own right, you know? I feel like they're taking this as what they did with the pre-sequel, which isn't technically a spin-off title, but it feels like it because it didn't get as much love as the other titles did. Of course, with the first game, you got 4 DLCs. With the second game, you got 4 DLCs, but the second game got the most love. You got 4 DLCs. I think you got like either 4 or 6 Headhunter DLCs, which were free DLCs that have a lot more content. And I'm just going to note this. I'm not mad about the Wonderlands DLC that just released, but the Headhunter DLCs for Borderlands 2, which were free, were actually longer than the DLC for Wonderlands that came out that was a paid DLC. So we got a bunch of those alongside 4 massive world-expanding, story-expanding, expanding DLCs for Borderlands 2. Of course, story DLCs were in 1, 2, and 3. And we got the 1 story DLC kind of extended a little bit. It was Tastic Voyage for the pre-sequel. It was supposed to get a second DLC, but that never really happened. So that got 1 story-based DLC, and then a prior DLC before that, they added Handsome Jack into it, or Timothy Lawrence was basically a playable character in that game. So you can kind of play as Jack, kind of. But, alright, so you had, in the pre-sequel, you have that DLC that kind of expands the world a little bit for you, and it gives you that story-based thing. With Wonderlands, we got our first paid DLC, which came out a month later than the game's release date. And then it was literally, if you are good at it, 10 minutes max, the DLC. And that 10 minutes is actually only because you have to literally like wait at one spot for like about 3 minutes. And then other spots you have to activate certain things, so that takes a little bit of time. But that DLC, I feel like they should have extended it a little bit longer. Now, if Gearbox wants to do DLC like this, so if they decided, okay, 2 DLCs, we're going to focus mainly on Chaos Chambers. Chaos Chambers is a great thing for Borderlands titles, and Wonderlands, I think, is pulling that off perfectly. Endgame is on point. You get a bunch of bosses. You can do a bunch of different things. And that aspect of it is amazing. I do love the story that came with Wonderlands. But with that story and the ending of Wonderlands, because she basically acted like they're about to play another session, went for like I really had that feeling like, okay, then the DLC is going to bring more story into it, but we basically just got the Chaos Chamber, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. If they decided to do 2 DLCs that's just focusing on Chaos Chamber, and then 2 DLCs that were focusing on expanding the world of Wonderlands and the story, I would have been really, really happy, but it's kind of not showing exactly. We don't know exactly where they're going to go with the DLCs, because they said 4 paid DLCs, and one of them is going to include that extra class. So that extra class, one second. Jesus. Okay. So that extra class I thought was Vesper, because they kind of showed, maybe it would be Vesper's, I guess, class. But when they were showing the new class, like in that trailer, they showed Vesper. But now it kind of confuses me a little bit, because I'm thinking, okay, Vesper's in the game. She's fine as shit. Oh my god, I love Vesper. But is her character like that class or what? Because they were kind of like talking about it in the trailer. But I didn't see anything story related with the DLC or the Season Pass trailer. We got a whole Season Pass trailer. So I didn't see any story related stuff in it. And that kind of got me a little bit worried, because I feel like they should have did this. I feel like they should have made story DLC, and then they should have made out of the story, they should have made the chambers out of different spots within that. Alright, so I felt like I was going to die in the last part, because I just had to keep coughing. Like, after that first cough, it just was like on it. But I just felt, I really felt like that the DLC should have been a story-based thing with the chambers pulled from the story. Now, I know a bunch of people in my comments or watching the video is going to be like, hey, stop being a bitch. Like, I already know how this is going to go, okay? But it's not that I don't love Borderlands. It's not that I'm not a fanboy. I'm a fucking fanboy, man. Like, do you have 3? Okay. So, like, it's not even that. Like, I have this whole room is full of Borderlands shit. The thing is this. I don't want Wonderlands failing over some stupid shit like this. I know what Gearbox is capable of. You know what Gearbox is capable of, because you've played 1, 2, 3 pre-sequel. If you're watching this video, I know you have. So, I don't want Wonderlands to be just a one-shot wonder. Like, I really want them to be like, we did really good with Wonderlands, let's make a Wonderlands 2. And maybe this could be like a Call of Duty situation where one group works on Wonderlands, another group works on Borderlands, and we can have a title in between titles, you know what I mean? So we can keep that game going. And I just want them to, make sure everything goes really well with their technical first spin-off title of Borderlands. And a lot of people are upset that the DLC was the way it was and how short it was. Even if they would have just extended that and made that just a long-ass DLC, just a long-ass Chaos Chamber that gets you to that boss, it would have been better, because it would have been new places and a new boss and a very long chamber. But we didn't get that. We got very short, like, spots, and then every week that you redo it, the places never change. The boss just gets stronger. If they would have, like, made that too, like, every week it changes, that would have been better too, because at least when it's all done, your DLC would have maybe 20 different places that you can go to, but it's all the same ones, and a lot of people are just upset. And I can only defend Gearbox as much as I have been, and I know what's right and what's wrong, and I see. I'm enjoying the game for what it is. I'm happy with the game for what it is. But I do understand from the aspect of a lot of people that I play with that I'm defending, you know, the game, and they're like, hey, this is bullshit. We paid this, and we can't even play the whole damn DLC, which is, I get it, but I do understand where Gearbox was going. They want to keep it a weekly thing, people coming back to play the game. But they should have, I don't know, just made them weekly things longer. Like, just doing like the 5 little levels in a chaos chamber and then a boss. It just doesn't kind of, people want more than just that, you know? And there wasn't really much story with it. It's only like the beginning. And mind you, I did play all the bosses because I played it the first day it came out and I took the hotfixes off. So there's that, you know what I mean? So like, I've seen the cutscenes and stuff, and it's not like it just doesn't feel like normal Borderlands type of DLC. And I know it's not Borderlands, it's Wonderlands, but it is, you know, like it's Borderlands. It's in that world. So basically, this video, and it seems like a rant, but it's not. It's actually just me trying to get people to understand where I sit at here, because I get a lot of feedback about my feedback. Like I tell them, you know what, I'm enjoying Wonderlands, and everyone has the right, you know, like I have my right to enjoy the games that I enjoy. If you don't like Wonderlands, you know, so be it. Like you don't like it, but you like Borderlands, go ahead, play Borderlands. It's not a big deal. That's your opinion. But I do want Wonderlands to succeed. I do. So, tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you like Wonderlands as it is right now? Did you get the Season Pass or the DLC? And did you like it? I did like the DLC. It should have been longer, and I felt like I said this multiple times on the channel. But I do feel like this is something that will kind of make the game sink, because there's too many people that are upset with it compared to the people that are okay with it. Meaning, I'm the only person I know that is actually okay with the DLC that we got. Like, literally. No one else is too happy with it. And the people that I've seen on YouTube, not gonna name anybody, but like people that cover the game, they're covering it the same way I'm covering it. But the thing is you could tell from their content that they aren't too happy, but they're just not allowed to say it, if that makes any sense. So, I don't know. I just want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you are disappointed with that DLC, don't be afraid to tell me your opinions down below, because I really want to know. I want to know what you guys think on it, and I want to know if I'm the only one that actually thinks it's a decent DLC. But of course, it just needs to be longer. I mean, what they were doing with it, I can understand. I see what they were doing with it, but I know what's missing. But yeah, guys, remember to leave comments down below on this whole situation. And remember to leave this video a huge like, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.
Fire will rise behind those eyes. Black house will rock.